Good morning, pajama traders and serious jean wearing or dress pant wearing, whatever the hell you were wearing, traders. Good morning. Some of you may go, "Hey man, listen, you're a few minutes late. It's 9:04. Supposed to get a full 30 minutes before the open starts." Listen, it doesn't start till I get here, okay? So you're early. You're early. Get a life. Or get some gains. We get some green. Some of you that entered a little bit of a risky tech trade yesterday, getting some good CPI numbers. I know you were looking at them. Inflation numbers, I hope we don't get the full estimate. You didn't. You got a little bit less. Not as high of inflation numbers. Does that change anything? I mean, I have some comments. We'll get to that. But anyway, futures, Nasdaq's up about 60 basis points. The Dow's up about 60. Russell 2000 about 80 basis points. S&P catching back up about 40 basis points. Getting there. Yields, well, yields reacting to the inflation numbers. Not exactly what some of you were hoping, which again, we'll get to. Yields are rising a little bit here because, again, inflation numbers, even though they did not reach estimates, are still showing increased reinflation, that things are heating up. So, again, just because the numbers didn't come into some analysts' estimates, the average analyst makes, what, 40 grand? So, you do the math. All of them added up do not equal one bond trader salary, especially not the bonus. So let's just be honest. Do you care? No. The trend is still intact. The trend of the yields are still intact. The trend of value is still intact. The trend that fucking the economy's getting going, people aren't dying as much, that had already started. It's very hard to stop it if it already started. One day does not change a fucking 2 months. 2 months of trends, right? We talk about this a lot. One candle doesn't change a trend. I mean, it can in terms of a short term, but it doesn't change the bias. So let's still be mindful of this idea. In terms of overall, everything's continuing today. So these numbers do help with the idea of tech. So you can see futures as they started to react. I just want to show it on the minis here. As they started to react, here you go. Here's the number not coming in as high on the CPIs, which again, this is what the growth side needed. Rebound yesterday, Nasdaq doing 4%, which is insane, an insane amount of flow, and it didn't even rotate from anywhere, right? The rotation was actually still happening while more money was coming in to buy growth, right? Again, you can see the reaction here, sigh of relief on the part of a lot of trades. I'm going to bring you over the Nasdaq. We talk about like a historical take profit day, right? You get a big buy day, something like 4% on the Nasdaq is likely going to take profit a couple percent, right? That's a lot of points. What's happening here? It came in with CPI numbers this morning. It was trending down in futures leading into the numbers, and now here it goes. We talked about this range between these two levels here, that price likes to move between levels very quickly. We talk about with velocity is what you're looking for. We'll see how quickly it gets up to here. This is about another 5%. Can it do that? Well, it's about 11 to 12% off its high. Some of the tickers we've talked about entered that, in quotations, bear market, that 20% mark being minus 20%, just the day before. And so a lot of them do have a lot of points to catch up. We'll see how much that continues again today. Now, there's, again, the elephant in the room that everyone is aware of is that there is a significant squeeze going on, and that's why you didn't see the flow yesterday. You just had points going up, and everyone's going, "Where's the flow then? Why are we still rotating? What is going on? Why are we not seeing money leave somewhere else to come here?" That's because where's the money going? It's going to the fucking derivatives still. So again, everything is tied into the options, and we have the most option volume, the most contracts ever as usual, for March monthlies and weeklies, right? We also should mention the weeklies that expire this week, leading up to the monthlies next week. What's happening? You're getting a squeeze. What starts the squeeze, the gamma squeeze idea? So again, market makers need to be delta neutral. They need to hedge against those written contracts. But as the price on the underlying starts to move and gain acceleration, that's what the gamma, we use that Greek for, as this gets going, it also means market makers need to get going. They need to start buying up the underlying more and more so things start to really get going. We saw a lot of that yesterday, which again, a lot of the numbers can't be explained through flow, which means if people aren't actually spending money to buy fucking shares, then that means market makers are doing it, right? And there's a good understanding of this from yesterday. We're going to get some sort of we'll get some sort of numbers out eventually. But what we're looking for again is what does this trend look like and how does the equity market as a whole look like? Again, we've had this rotation over the last month into value. That continued even yesterday. It even continued yesterday, continued to go. Let's see what these numbers look like. Let's see what the bond market does. Again, yields, it's going to be very important to see. We still have more auctions coming. Again, all it takes is something like last month where no one wanted to buy the sevens and had a liquidity problem and it affected the entire equity market, raising inflation expectations, raising cost of capital. These things matter. Discounting on the growth side. These things matter and have not changed. They haven't gone anywhere just because people decided to buy. I made a comment in my channel. The idea of basically yesterday was a dumb dinosaur like turning its head, right? A lot of people have made this comment, so I'm not going to take credit for it. But anyway, Jeremy Grantham posted back in the summer of 2007 before the equity market started to crash these comments of basically equity market got bit on the tail and then it took a fucking year to finally have it go up to its little pea brain, right? That's literally what this kind of move is here, is it's like, okay, so everyone's rotating into something and something's happening and now all of a sudden you're realizing it and then at the same time you just got bit on your tail so you turned your head to see what the fuck bit you. That's what that comment means for those of you wondering. It's the same thing all the time. It always feels the same. It always reacts the same. If it smells like shit, it's probably shit. Like these comments, they all mean something. We need confirmation, right? We need more confirmation. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really fun to see this week what exactly goes on because again, these moves are not clear. These moves are, I'm not going to say like chaotic and random, but there's certainly people that were all caught off guard at the same time, right? It's not like where for a month things have been trending one way and the other, rotating. This is getting caught off guard. So now everyone's going, well, what are we doing over here then? What's changed? Well, nothing's changed. So how do we make these trades? It goes back to, again, sort of like 2020 where we're talking a lot about is the market connected to the economy? And that you can make an argument for both sides, and it doesn't matter. You don't need a why. You don't need to know the reason behind everything. Like, is there a spirit in the market? Probably not. Like, these things don't matter, right? But how, when, what? These things matter. And we don't know. We actually don't know. And so, again, flows over fundamentals. So if the flows are there, then the flows are there. So things like ARC, I had talked about it a week ago, and we didn't see it, that ARC would get an inflow over here. We didn't see it. We need to see, is it the same thing? Is it the same juke? Is it the same head fake? What game are we playing, right? What game are we playing? So again, we need to see a trend start. So we're looking for trend line breaks. We're looking for breakouts. If you notice from my list yesterday, I didn't find basically any breakouts. Didn't find anything that really signaled something to myself. Now, I did post hundreds and hundreds of tickers, short-term patterns over the weekend. A lot of those are these names that we're seeing. So again, a lot of them had already started from this move because again, a lot of these candles were bullish because they were inside bars, right? A lot of them were just inside bars. That's important to note. And so again, these are not bias shifting moves yet, right? They're not bias shifting moves yet. So we need to be very careful with our understanding. And we need to, again, not be affected by others. It's so important that Again, you remove some of the headline reading and the story building. This is not how you trade. This will not help you with your trades. There could be some things that we can learn from other people's thoughts, but learning it from a journalist is not going to help you. Somebody that gets paid 40 grand that's just writing articles and getting, catchy headlines to get clicks, that is not how the market works. That's not the money. How do we follow the money? We look at the price. The price will give us the money. It'll tell us if there's a story. It'll tell us if something fucking happened. If you see a candle that's a little bit of an outlier, then there's probably something there. We don't need someone else to tell you. You don't need me to tell you, right? These things, again, you'll learn them. If you don't learn them, then you can't just be going off other people's, what they think. You just trade because, oh, well, everyone wants to go buy it. So let's all apes are strong together. Well, you can do that if you want. You can take advantage of that up to a point. That's not going to make you a good trader, though. You're not going to learn anything. So again, what are we trying to learn from market right now? We're trying to learn what the hell we're doing on the growth side. Are we full risk on? Again, we were risk on the value side because of inflation, the economy getting back. Is the economy not getting back now? Is that why we're buying tech? Or are we just buying everything because fucking let's buy all of equities? Let's do that. We've done that before. We were just doing that before. Buy everything. Let's go. Presidential election. Trump's out. No more volatility. Let's go. Trend it. That's what we were doing. Buy everything. That's what we said. Buy everything. And then it turned into buy all of value. Buy all of value. Short tech. Are we buy everything right now? We need more information to figure that out. So yes, you can make short-term trades, make some bets that make sense, but again, they're not full bias-driven sort of trades like what we've had in the past. So you can't go put your whole portfolio on Tesla calls, right? That's not something you can do. Why? Because that would be gambling, and that would be a really dumb way to lose all your money if you're trying to work hard and make consistent trades. Again, I want to make a point here. Is that if you did nothing for the last month because you're only, in quotations, a tech trader or something like a growth trader, and I don't short, I'm only a bull, then you could make 100% yesterday. Let's say you bet every single day and you just finally made 100% yesterday. You missed every single trade over the last month and a half that you could have made. In terms of compounding at a portfolio, you could have made trades that whole fucking time, right? So again, there's a difference. Consistency will always beat out, right? And we're not even old man sort of lazy boy traders. I mean, investors. We're doing active trades that we're trying to get 100% squeeze everything out of it. We're literally trying to push every single winning to its absolute riskiest point until we'll lose all of it, right? So it's not even like we're doing some sort of passive fucking investing. We're being aggressive, but we're going to trade when there's a trade and take everything that's on the table at all the time and not sit back and do nothing for such a long time and lose money for a whole time. Because again, you can't get that time back. You can't get those trades back. You'll lose all those opportunities you don't take. So again, there's a lot of people that made money yesterday that lost a ton of money through all this time that again, you're doing it the backwards way, right? It shouldn't be the other way like that. It should always be the other way. So again, be careful with your understanding of when you see, again, gambling pay off. That's a bad way to look at things. Bad way to look at trading and a bad way to learn, right? Anyway, let's take a look at some pre-market action. Again, the same things apply for sectors coming today. What happened to start Monday into Tuesday? Monday, value popped the fuck off. So all of our sectors did great, right? So what does that mean if you have a big buy day, a big buy event on Monday? That means a take profit day the next day. So some of you stayed in those positions because you want to push your winnings. So now your positions are going back up today. Some of you decided to, I guess, not heed the just comments to myself because I talk to myself. The idea that if you're not going to be able to hold through a take profit day on Tuesday, then you shouldn't be fucking selling on you shouldn't be selling at the low of Tuesday. You should be selling before because you know you're going to be that person that's going to get pushed out of the position. You should be able to on it, like even if we looked at these candles here, you bought down here, you shouldn't have to get stopped out or sold at this position. You just keep pushing it. You understand that, okay, this will be a take profit day, and I'm going to have to push through that for more gains the next day. And so if you're able to push through that, then you won't do anything. You don't get stopped out, nothing. But if you're the kind of person that you know you would be selling, if it pulls back at all, then you take profit early. Why? Because you need to beat yourself and not the market. Everyone knows you push through this. This is ridiculous. You push through this. Doesn't make any sense not to. But if you're someone that you're sensitive to price movement, then take profit early, and you just realize the whole gain without losing anything. Again, you need to beat yourself first. Again, if it's trending up, if the lows are getting higher, then it's trending. If the low gets higher, no matter where the price is, it's trending to the upside. So again, rules never change. There was some questions last night. I answered those real quick. This morning, if it's all-time high, that's what you listen for the all-time high thing. Because again, I know we're getting back in there. We did this all through 2020. All through 2020 and into this year, we trade through all-time highs. All-time highs don't change anything other than the fact there's no supply. There's no sellers up here. There's no levels. And all-time high means since there's no supply, price can push through and increase at a faster rate. And since there's no level, you'll create new levels. You don't get to push into all-time high and then sell. Nothing changes. The fucking price stays the same, right? Pullbacks will happen. They'll create new levels of support and then continue towards the upside. Again, price trades through all-time highs every single day almost. So right now we're not. Right now we're in a consolidation. But as you push back into all-time highs, again, that doesn't all of a sudden mean you can't trade. Price doesn't just all of a sudden stop. People don't go, well, fuck me, we're in all-time high. It's time to get the fuck out of this position. This is worthless. Why would we push it all-time high? Again, nothing changes. Rules still apply. If it hasn't reversed to your entry point, then you push that position. And, you know, again, there's all that's changed is your mindset. The only thing that's changed is the way you're looking at it. Market doesn't think anything's different. So again, common sense. Keep common sense in your purview all the time. Let's take a look. What do we got for numbers up here? Whoa! See a lot of green in here. Continuing the day from yesterday where everything was green. Everything was green. We have anything to point out? There's a couple things. DraftKings continues from our Big Friday position. Do you take profit on your DraftKings position? Well, you're one of two people. You either took a trade that's a weekend-only trade where you knew you'd be taking profit right at the start of Monday Open, so this won't bother you. Now, you could have re-entered on Monday because you also had support. So here's where the next part of the question comes in. You could have bought on Friday knowing that you're going to push this position until it reverses, gets rejected. We follow our rules. Has price stopped the trend? Not yet. Did price stop the trend yesterday because it opened higher and started to sell? Nope, it was still up 3%. So you were still up a significant amount yesterday. So do you take profit anywhere in here if you were looking to push this position like a normal position and it wasn't just a weekend trade? There's nowhere in here that you would have taken profit. There's nowhere. You gapped up to Monday. You gained at least 100%. Tuesday, what happened? Well, you gapped up again and you closed 3% higher. Nowhere in this candle did your options or your shares lose value. You were probably up another 40, 50%. Where is price today? Price is now opening up another 5% higher. It's going to be open up right in here. If price starts to sell from the open and you're still up above this position, well, then your position must still be up and you're not losing money and you're still gaining and you're still trending, so you would not take profit. You don't get to take profit, or what I should say is you don't get to decide when prices reach the top. You need to react to price. So if price is trending towards the upside, and this is for any position, price is trending to the upside, nowhere in this move do you get to decide when the top is until you actually see it. Until you actually see it. Yeah, you're going to lose some points. You will lose some points here off the top. But you don't get to somehow crystal ball it and know exactly where, unless there's a level there and you understand there's a transition point coming up. If it's in the middle of nowhere. Why? Because price does this a lot. Price does this a lot where it pulls back one day. Maybe it's all the way down here. Maybe it all the way down here. Let's say this is the move. Maybe this is the move here, right? Maybe it looks something like this. Yeah, you could have 2 days of selling right here. You're down here, right? If you have ample contracts that aren't marches, then you can continue to push that position. Because why? Because you're still trending and moving to the upside. And there's at no point did you reverse. Where's the reversal point on this? Reversal point is from the start of a trend, which would be this candle, and wherever that candle is, which would be in your mind, you don't know yet, but you use it as the high, the rejection of the trend. So if it was this point here, where is the relative reversal point? It would be halfway between this wick and this one. So price would need to pull back. And usually what we'll use is if there's a support in here, if there's a support somewhere in here, then we'll use that as the point, because we understand if the buyers don't hold there, then it's unlikely to hold below, which is also where I tell you that if you're not going to be able to hold through these points, then just start to take profit early. Because if, for instance, if you know price is going to pull back quite a bit, then just take profit early, because you're not going to fucking push through this for the next. You can just re-enter it if you want to. So again, it's just the normal trading and rules. Most of you know. Today, okay, couple of things. You guys know the sectors. You know the sectors now, and now tech is coming back. We're trading through still. If there's positions that become available, we're still trading through the smaller cap side. So things that again are a bit smaller. Mega caps are still. I'm not going to get involved with mega caps right now. We don't need liquidity. Well, a lot of you are heavily positioned already as well. In terms of how to do this, again, we entered positions yesterday, even though we were like, okay, well, shit, growth is jumping off the page right now. So we entered positions yesterday, involved with that, which are short-term trades. If they continue today, we continue to push them. Excuse me. But still, we go through our checklist of understanding. Clean energy is definitely a higher tier than something like mega caps, right? EVs are certainly higher. These ideas, they still play. And so again, these things still matter. The idea of converging sectors still matter. So looking at some trades from yesterday, for instance, entering Z yesterday, pushing this trade, right? These things still apply. So yes, it's been bearish. And what are we doing now? Well, we need to react. We can't just sit idly. We have to react to price. So we take some of these trades, right? What about like something like Tesla? How do you re-enter Tesla? Okay, we talked about this trend line in here. Price is now opening at 703.25. So it's going to be up here or so. So price is getting into a better zone now. What do we need here? We need a fucking level. We need consolidation. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're in the middle of nowhere on something like this, so it's hard to trade this. What about other EVs? Well, we've already been trading the Ford play. We've been trading Ford the whole time, right? To compare these two charts. Ford is up like 30% and Tesla was down like 40%, right? So again, this has been the better trade. When you're doing opportunity cost, you continue to go with the better trade. So again, some of you are looking at new tickers and going, oh baby, it's time to get back in here. Time to get into Facebook. The underlying point may seem like it's there, but again, there are still better trades to make. So some of the clean energy trades from yesterday, they may not have done as large of an underlying. I mean, there's still big fucking numbers like 10%. But, I'm going to take this trade over some of the other trades every single time, right? So we took clean energy trades, intermediary tech trades that are smaller companies, these kind of things. Hot stocks continued. Zoom, for instance, right? Think about like the Zoom trade, how much we wanted to make this work. And then what happened? Full rotation out of tech. Has anything changed here? No, not technically. We're still above the trend line here. We're still above. So this is the kind of trade I'd rather be a part of here and tell myself, well, I just got a 50% discount. Where's price going to be in a month? The answer is always it's going to be higher. It's going to be higher. I would rather be a part of this trade, right? This trade than some of the others, right? Keep these ideas in mind and use common sense for what's the better trade to make, right? And again, while still keeping in terms of tiers of right now, value is still certainly significantly better than growth. Why? Because it's been performing significantly better. You can't deny the yields are still rising. The market, the economy's still getting better. Reinflation is fucking happening. Do not sleep. Do not get juked. Do not get faked. Don't be one of those, I want to trade my tickers. I love my tech tickers. I'm a new-blooded, you're a fool. We trade price. Whatever's there in front of us, that's it. But we're not going to, again, we go with the better, again, it's opportunity cost. Any of us can throw darts and make money in a green market. We want to be making the most. What's the best possible gain out there, right? And again, if you don't look at charts, I'm not going to fucking tell you. So if you didn't look at charts and you're wondering which ones should I trade, I mean, you should have looked at the goddamn charts, right? Let's see what we got here. Give us more green. Again, we've been risk on for a while, folks. The fact that we're still getting risk on in the market, again, through all those crashing. Remember when we were doing the bubble, and then it was crashing? And we've just been risk on the whole time, buying equities the whole goddamn time. Don't forget that. We've been pretty risky in terms of the eyes of the market. Are we being risky now by still buying equities? Again, as soon as the bubble thing comes back in, do not go the opposite way. You guys were doing shit while it was crashing. You're going to do it while they say it's bubbled too, right? Again, 40,000 a year those fucking analysts make. And they get all of those estimates by the average of all those people. I'm not trying to like make fun of people for salaries, but let's just be honest. You know how easy it is to get an analyst to tell the market what you want them to? It takes one night out. And you don't just take one of them out. You take the whole lot of them out. Take like 20 analysts out. Might get lucky. Speaking from experience, absolutely not. I'm not a salesman. I mean, I started with sales. But again, you guys know the difference. The sales desk is the worst at an institution. The absolute worst. You are the lowest of low. I unfortunately had to start there. But I was out real quick. And no, I would never be in investment banking doing fucking PowerPoints all day. Those of you that don't know, well, we get this bid here in the market. Obviously, we're all green. Let's go. Keep it fucking going. You didn't buy anything. That sucks. You schmuck. Those of you that know the truth about investment banking, the truth about it, and I would never go into that. So again, I never did that. You know why? Because do you know what investment bankers do when you start out? Do you know what you do for 2 years before you can do anything else? You make fucking PowerPoint slideshows every day, and you work hundreds of hours a week. All you do is make fucking PowerPoint slideshows. You don't believe me? That's all it is. Those of you that are like, ooh, investment banking, they work so much. It must be so much fun. No, they make fucking slideshows. That's literally what you do when you start at an investment bank. You get paid a fuck ton of money. You get paid like 200 grand for doing that, 250. You make fucking slideshows. I would never do that. I would rather kill myself. Fuck that. So yeah, you decide to, instead you're like, well, I want to be a trader and not a fucking PowerPoint butt fuck muncher. Whatever. So you go to the sell desk, and then you go to the buy side. Fuck PowerPoint. All right, we got a rejection at the trend line. Retail's still playing around with GME. Again, remember, it's quite literally over there, all squeeze. So remember the game that retail's playing. You can take advantage of it. I literally placed a GME trade a week ago. It's on the fucking stream. When do you take profit on that? The same rules apply. Don't look at the P&L. Let's take a look. A couple things to look at. I think some of you again are you get like awestruck by tech so much, and you do not see what's you forget. You want to forget things really quickly. Again, I don't care. I'm doing my own thing because I am gonna get thrown off by some of you, even though no one's saying anything. But I want to make sure you don't buck a trend. Continue with the trend. Don't let one candle change your entire mind. Right? If someone runs up to you on the street and tells you to buy something, do you buy it? Are you one of those people that sees a giant line and you don't know where it goes, but you just get in line anyway? Don't be that person. Again, you can see the difference here on the average. Important. Now, EVs are continuing to get flows. Things like NEO continuing to get a flow here up to the 45.29. Apps is continuing. Again, clean energy looking very good. Run. Again, we put solar. We put solar on yesterday because again, I don't know why it's so tied into growth. I mean, there's obvious stipulations there of future growth for clean energy, but still, it was not trading like growth. We knew that Tesla was getting tied into mega cap growth and everything else, but so things like pot stocks, clean energy that are getting also policy benefit from Biden administration, all Democrat, blue wave, those things are obvious. UNFI really popped off, continuing here. It's outside of the trend line here. Outside of the trend line, that's a whole new chart. See you later. That's like uncatchable, it looks like. Let's see. We're a little slow here. Let's see. Intermediary EVs continue to climb. Blank plug. We'll see how those continues. There's things like MP bouncing back. QFIN continues from yesterday. Again, this kind of trade, it takes one fucking trade. I know you guys want to make some things work. Talked about QFIN from the open. This was a trade we could take. Look, we're up another 666, the devil's worship number. Demonic numbers here coming through. 20% yesterday, another almost 7% today. This was a trade we took yesterday that, yeah, it's a part of growth, but this fucking chart's just better. It's literally just better. It's growth, but it's just fucking better, right? So this trade takes one. You didn't need to make 30 tech trades yesterday. You could have made one. 100% trade right there. 100% trade right there. Always keep that in mind. You can see so many different things up, but it only takes one of them. Yep, all at travel. Brian coming in with some good alerts this morning. Let's talk about a couple things. WBA, reminder that I own about 80% of the option chain. So you're trying to buy something, it's because the reason why prices are going up is because there's a limited supply. So you're buying market makers. They are writing new calls. So again, prices will get fucking jacked up on the options. So if you're looking at those, spreads shouldn't be that fucked. But again, there's a limited supply over there. Keep this in mind because people got fucked up on the DFEN trade because there was no one to buy things from. Those of you that don't remember, aerospace and defense is one of our big sectors. Look where it is, and then the options are brutal. They haven't moved. Why? Because we're just sitting on them. We're literally just sitting on them. So you're going to watch this go, and nothing moves. Why? Because we're sitting on them and not fucking selling. You can't get a fucking price point. Keep this in mind for some of those trades. I know it seems weird that can be the case, but that's literally the reality. That is the reality. Chris coming up to the trend line again. Our tickers after names: Chris, Craig, not Greg, Craig. Our ticker names: Eric. our symbols that are named after people have been doing very well. I've joked about it plenty of times. Reposted the Chris trade. Again, we had it from over here. It's a new chart. One of the Spackarinos. Good call by Brian on the trend. Chris is in the circle of trust. Greg is out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, travel. Let's look at some things. AL back on top of the trend line. Again, some of you have been just trading this. Well, then you saw it open on support. So I'm imagining you pulled the trigger, right? If not, well then, I mean, okay. We'll see how the death boats do today. We'll see how they do today. Again, we took all of these trades on Friday. Have you had to take profit on any of them? No, you haven't. If you tell me you get stopped out of this trade from Friday, then you just don't know what you're doing. You don't know. You just don't know. If you made money, great, but you're going to lose a lot of money with that mentality. Absolutely. Absolutely. So be careful. Again, value is looking fucking awesome, guys. Feels good. What do we get over here? What's minus 67? JE. We weren't in this trade, but I don't know what happened there. I'm guessing that got scooped up by somebody. Somebody got scooped up. A couple things like GE getting sold here. These are hurtful for some of you. You're like, oh God, fuck me, GE, 4% down today. Again, this all depends on where you entered, what you're in for a position. How do you manage a trade like this? It depends on you. There's 100 different decisions you could make here. I'm pushing my position. Why? Because I entered a position over here. How much am I down? I'm down 4%. Down 4%. Am I out on short terms? I was already out on short terms. How much? Where do you think this is going to be today? I bet this goes positive today. How much you guys want to bet? If you bet, then why don't you make a fucking trade? Anyone know what happened here? I bet there was news related. I don't even need to read the news to know that this was news related. Does news set prices? No, it does in the short term, no. You can get short-term effects on price. I bet there was a bunch of speculation leading into some sort of news here. And I bet it was supply-driven. I bet there was something supply-wise that affect price here. Does that affect price by Friday? Nope. Nope. So what do we do here? We're going to buy. Just like we bought here. Why? Because the entire sector is bullish. That's why. Keep that in mind, because I know a day like this will throw a lot of you off. This is opportunity, once again. Be very careful. Good learning opportunity here. Keep this in mind. I'm going to bring this up every day this week now. I'll bring it up every day this week so we can learn from this moment here. Because again, there's so many ways you could look at things. You could go, oh, well, this is because tech is so good. Fuck GE. Fuck that lazy shit. I don't want that dumb value. Get fucked on. Again, we'll learn. We'll learn together. We will learn together. It's important. Very important. Let's see. Small caps. Look at us. This is, again, we are getting very close to all-time high. Small caps. Again, this is still outperforming tech right now. So please do not, again, the Dow is an all-time high. The nightly news 34 play, again, is going to be, whether you like it or not, $1 million trade or a multi-million-dollar trade for a lot of people. And by a lot of people, I mean like the 10 people I know. But still, this is doing significantly better. Why? Because it's an all-time highs in tech, and everything else has like 10% a ways to go. And why? Because the reinflation idea is still happening. It doesn't matter if you can try to avoid it. You can't avoid the economics. Impossible, right? This is yeah. Yikes. Phase already broken through there. I would say the $20 mark is the mark. Whether you can swing this up to here or not is I don't really know. We have a trend line through here. You could say it broke, but again, this is all just gross. It's all gross in here. Did it break this trend line? Not yet, but you could say this is a trend line down here too. So it's to be seen. To be seen here. I'm not really sure. This is gross. This is not enough volatility. Not enough volatility here. Can you swing it up to the... It's really possible, but I don't know. I'm not going to put money there unless you get more, because there's better things to put money on right now. But very, very interesting. Very interesting, because it could be. I'll keep it right here. Keep it right here, because it hasn't moved yet. If it breaks there, then maybe it gets... If it gets any sort of momentum, looks like it, maybe options buying, then sure. Apps is going through. Looks like it's going to break through the 82.10 mark here. I posted the chart real quick in the question section for Splaffle. This is likely a swing up again, lower range into upper range. We've been trading the apps chart a lot, right? Why? Because it's good volatility, very easy to swing back and forth. We'll see how it gets affected here, whether it's a transition, whether it's a, again, higher end there. Clean energy continues, Z continues. We'll see how Z gets going. Again, converging supply here. Why did we take the trade? First of all, we broke the trend line, and there's an understanding of converging levels of supply. So, again, there's an understanding that price is going to gravitate here. Whether this is it, we take profit here. We give it chances, right? We're going to give it chances, of course. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Upwork, we'll see. We're dojied so far. Let's see. Be very careful of the travel move because, again, travel is like making another break out. Things like, let me remove this part right here. Expedia is breaking through the trend line here. Again, what happens? Intermediary. What am I doing here? Remove this. The intermediary travel, like the service providers, usually lead this move very well because they're smaller. And so you can see how this is leading through back into the highs. Again, if things like airlines and cruise lines and casinos start to break back out, it's remember how hard it was for you to get back into that position or catch it once it started. Please remember that because, again, yesterday fucked up a lot of timing. And a lot of people actually not only were taking profit from Monday's big move, because, again, historical just sort of take profit day on Tuesday, but since so many things were being bought on the tech side, we lost a little bit of a moment. And so a lot of them, what are they doing? They're actually just continuing what they should have been doing anyway, but it's going to be violent and it's going to be really fucking hard to get in there because there's not as much liquidity now. Because you lost a lot of liquidity yesterday, liquidity being the sell side, right? People that could provide are no longer there. What happens if you remove supply and the demand stays the same? The price is going to increase quicker at a faster rate. Supply and demand, baby, sets the price. If you remove supply, then the demand is going to overtake it and really jack prices up. Do not forget that. That's what happened yesterday. Yesterday, you removed a ton of supply from value. And you know where you put it? You put it into growth. Do not forget it. Don't forget it. Because, again, you're going to see prices and it's going to suck ass. It's going to suck. Ryan says, LOL, DraftKings. Yep, DraftKings. Again, this is going to be about those of you that have the Friday position. I'm looking at it. You guys are going to be what? 500%? 500% or so? At least 420. By the time this reaches, congratulations. You made a trade that you make every Friday. Where's the headline for that one? I don't know. Some retail traders have it. Takes one trade. Here we go. What do you mean? Go look. Come on now. You can look. You can look. XRT, retail stores, we continue. I know some of you are like, well, I'm not going to trade retail stores. I don't even wear clothes. Again, was there any point where we were going to take profit on this? Do we take profit anywhere on this move? No. That would be ridiculous. That wouldn't make any sense. What about yesterday? Yesterday, tech was really jumping off. This one only went up 4%. Could have got 20% on Tesla if you bottom ticked it. It's only up 4%. We do not take profit unless there's a reversal. We push winnings up to the absolute moment that we can't, which to us is, to the method, is a reversal or a rejection on resistance. Why? Because we're liberal. We're liberal with not just pricing, but we're liberal in politics. Absolutely. Why? Because everyone should be able to enjoy whatever pleasures they want. Why do you get to dictate other people? So go fuck yourselves, Republicans, or you goddamn Trumpers. That's right. I said it. I said it. All right, what time do we got? We have 9:50. We're 20 minutes in. We're 20 minutes in. We have a ton of flow coming. Let's go through the whole macro spiel again, right? Okay, yields are getting back to a little bit of a break even. Let's go over to the dollar now that we digest a little bit. A little bit of dollar rolled over, dollar selling a little bit. This is money entering equities, right? Money entering equities. Some of the money here came from, again, growth. Some of it came from treasuries. We know that the dollar will increase if yields go up and inflation is increasing, the reinflation idea. The dollar will just appreciate if yields are going up and there's reinflation, which again, yields basically track inflation as well, but those are bets that it's happening. So a lot of this, again, is not bad. It's not good. There's nothing here. It's just a benchmark. There are times, though, when we can understand when there's decisions being made. Excuse me. What's happening here? This is money entering the equity market. That's what we know. That's what it is. Keep that in mind. It's just like volatility. The spot VIX only goes. It only has correlation to the negative side, right? Oh, S&P is going up. Volatility goes down. S&P's going up. Volatility is actually technically going up, right? But it's okay. Again, do we have risk in here? I mean, again, look at through all this. There's just look. Here's volatility. Markets crashing, markets crashing, markets crashing. All-time high, all-time high. None of it fucking matters. It's all off. It's all off. Use IV and use the options. Don't use the spot VIX for big macro understanding, right? Or at least decision making. We use it as benchmark in overall understanding of the volatility market. You really need to start getting into the derivatives, going into some of the other parts of it, especially the derivatives of something like VXX that's tracking the acceleration of the volatility market, these kind of things, and where you can actually bet on the market. These things matter a lot more. So again, we've been risk on since this has been trending down, right? Since it's been trending down, we've been risk on. As soon as we got out of April, it was time. It was time. Hasn't really changed. Some weeks we have to sell everything because we don't know what's going on, but it's been very rare at this point. Very rare. It's going to be interesting to watch NEO here. We get this 45.29 level. I would stick with that level as an understanding. If we break above here, okay. We're breaking a trend line. We're breaking a level. We are bullish on China. They are tied into the tech side a lot more. They're obviously getting some help. They're going to like the inflation number a lot more than we care about the inflation number, right? They're very tied into our yields because they borrow like motherfuckers. Why? Because you guys have heard the conspiracy theories where they own a bunch of dollars. Fucking chemtrails, right? Jew lasers. Careful of all that, right? None of that's true. No. But China is big on U.S. treasuries. They do borrow. They do borrow for future flow, and they are very tech driven. They don't really have value. They're all tech. Their economy is value, which is why we look at it as if China's coming back, then value is doing well. But that's, again, a lot of this is tied to borrowing, ownership, all these different things, investing. It's all flow based. So it get tied down into tech a lot, but also we saw the Hang Seng was going opposite to the Nasdaq prior anyway. So we are more bullish on the China side. Now, we weren't last week, but things change, right? Things change every single week. So obviously we don't need to have that argument. Let's see. Again, a lot. There's so many there's so many tickers putting points on that, again, it's pick your spots, but also just do something in anything. It's very important. Some of you I know are not in position. You just have to trade, right? You have to make trades. It's very important. Even if you don't know exactly what to do, you do need to trade. You do need to make trades. Mm-hmm. Z is getting through. Square Inc. and PayPal have turned out to be very good trades so far. I'm watching for this trend line in here, a little bit of sensitivity. Again, this is also for the entire market. We know that first of all, the growth side, Square Inc. and PayPal aren't exactly that. We know these need to consolidate somehow. So you get trend lines like this, right? We're going to be watching for rejections today and tomorrow for a lot of these tickers. If they get rejected on these trend lines, and again, a lot of the market has this, right? If we just go to like the Qs, there's this trend line. This is such an important thing. See where this is right now? See how it's getting rejected right here? This is such an important part because, again, price needs to fucking consolidate. Is this the consolidation? Is this the consolidation, right? That's the question. We don't know yet. We literally don't know. So, is it breaking through right here? We just don't know. And I was looking at it last night. There is one thing here. Again, we don't, until it breaks out, we don't call it anything. We understand there's some trend lines here. What is this here? If you go over to the weekly, I'm going to log it. Weekly log. There's too many lines on the chart now. Let me just do this. What is this? This is the weekly log chart. What is this? This is a weekly flag. Weekly flag. So something like in here, right? So what we're looking for is a break from the trend line in here. A break through the trend line. And you can see that trend line actually lines up the same with this trend line. It's the same trend line. It's actually the same value point. So again, this would be a very good consolidation. Now, it's not fully a flag. You're really pushing it a little bit, but again, it's the same premises of a pullback into an explosion of the upside. What needs to happen here? Price needs to fucking explode. It can't just sit here and dick around because otherwise it's in a consolidation, which it needs to be. It actually needs to be in a consolidation. So there's an understanding here that, okay, price better get going or else nothing's changed. Price better move through these two levels really quick, break through the trend line, make some gains, climb the ladder. Otherwise, it's a phony break, and it is within a consolidation. Look at all the supply in here. Look at all the supply in here. I'm going to trade through here for a while, right? We need to see some of these. Absolutely need to see some of these. Brian says, can you buy the BJ option chain? Can't find it. I can't think of any good jokes. I can buy you some BJs. Absolutely. I'll buy you some BJs, Brian. I know you want some BJs, so I will buy you some BJs. Send them to you. What, you didn't buy it down here? Let me just show you guys a 5-minute. You didn't buy it down here? You want to buy it up here? You just got to hit that buy button. If you're on IB, use an adaptive market. Use an adaptive market order. For those ones that got like 10 fucking, the volume's like 10. There's like 5 people in there's like 5 people in the OI. You can use adaptive market orders for some of those low volume ones. That's fine. You guys have small accounts. You're fine. I mean, otherwise you need to be just knowing what to be putting. Like, this is again where like understanding pricing comes in, and you don't know unless you looked at the chain the day before. You need to be putting an order out there that's like literally the theme of this Discord, an offer they can't refuse. You don't want to be like, you either need to just go to the fucking ask and just pay the offer, Like if you're not willing to pay the offer price and you're trying to pay something in between and you're never getting filled, like then you're not paying a good. You're literally not offering a good enough price to buy. Just go to the ask. Who gives a fuck? Just go buy it. Like you literally all you're doing by not paying the price is you're watching price go by you and then you're going, "Oh, I wonder what I could have done there." You literally just fucking buy it. Like who cares? Some of you like I think some of you look at the dollar value and some of you still are fucked up with the dollar value. The using points is different on every single chart is different. It's the percent part that matters. So you could say, well, the spread's $100. The spread could be $500 on another one, but that's because that's how expensive the contracts are. Some of the contracts that are like 40 cents, yeah, the spread's like 10 cents. Well, that's pretty fucking big, buddy, right? Overall. So again, don't use the dollar value, use the percent value. And a lot of the times you need to just go fucking pay the price, guys. You need to be willing to pay it. You got to be willing to pay it. Buy it and get it going. I slapped the ask and I lost everything. Yeah, you're going to be red. That's why we buy when price is moving. Again, the market price is going to be lower than the ask price. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why you buy when shit's moving. You buy when everything's tight. Buy when it's tight. That's what's right. Buy, but don't buy. Jesus Christ. Fuck you guys. Wait, explain that again. Some of you do that though. I know you sit there. You're like, all right, let me put my order in, and you're watching price go by. You're like, why the fuck am I not getting filled? I'm not paying an extra $20 for this. And then price goes up $100, and you're like, well, I'm not paying an extra $100 for that. Yeah, you can inch it up. That's what you have to do. You inch the bid up, or you split the spread, or you just go pay the fucking price for it, right? Like, it depends how quickly you want to get filled, all right? Depends how quickly. Yeah, why do other people try to... Don't you hate that when you want to buy something but someone buys it before you? It's like Black Friday all over again. You want to buy that TV that's on discount, and then some other lady named Karen comes and buys the TV ahead of you. That's literally all you're doing in the open. Someone else wants to buy it. If you're not willing to pay it, then you don't get it. Sometimes you need to put the fucking money down. %90 of all trades are algos. Whether it's a person entering the trade or not. So yeah, like if I enter my trades, then I'm not the one that's spitting out the bids and shit. I'm not sitting here moving like 40 different positions. Just again, I want to buy it. I want to be in it. I don't want to pay a terrible price, but I want to get in. Depending on that aggressiveness, the algos will. It's again 90% of whether again 1/5 of all volume is retail traders. We know there's a fuck ton of retail traders, but overall, about 90% of all trades are placed through algos. Right? The algos are actually the ones placing the trades to the exchange. You people on Robinhood and shit, your order is getting bought by somebody else and then sent to the exchange. Your order does not, I do not see your order on the exchange. I'll see it through Citadel. Citadel HFT'd the shit out of your trade, scalped it, and is now going and entering it into the market. But I don't see your trade. So their algos are making the trades, right? So again, 90% of all trades are done by algos. So you don't have some idiot that's like flashing prices. You know when idiots are flashing prices, it's like 69, 420. It's like 100% out of the money. Sorry, guys. I was placing trades. Let me bring it back. SPY on the trend line. Qs. In the middle of nowhere. We talked about it. Looking for direction. Got rejected so far. Small caps. Absolutely killing it. Fucking killing it. Again, value continues to kill it. The thing that's been trending continues to trend. Fuck me, right? Again, be very careful. Be very careful about bucking trends and trying to do the new cool thing. Again, value's continuing. Some of you got off the ride. Dow continues to push through all-time high. Guys, this is fucking momentum. This is momentum. And some of you, again, Some of you entered the play. Some of you entered the nightly news 34 play. And for you, those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about, if you guys watch the nightly news, like your mother, your grandparents, your aunt, they watch the news, and you know what index they get told about in the stock market every night? The fucking Dow Jones Industrial Average. Today, the Dow lost 100 points. That's literally the only thing people know about. They don't fucking know about anything else, unless something news is going on. So we're calling it the nightly news play. Dow to the 34,000 mark. Dow to 34,000, and guess what? We're fucking almost there, so really fucking close. That's going to be, again, that right there, boys, is $1 million play. Wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it any other way. And again, it would be on the options that you're literally talking about a few hundred percent on the overall average. Few hundred percent. Some of them it's going to have to be a little bit. Some of them, like March monthlies, need to be putting on serious numbers, like 500, 600% for that to literally be the case. But it's doing it. So again, you're how much do you need to? It honestly doesn't take much, right? It doesn't take much. It just depends how much do you put behind a trade. Depends how much money you put behind a trade. 100% of a big number still fucking double that number. So 100,000 is 200,000. 200,000 is 400. 400 is what? 8? Holy moly. 500 is what? A million? Holy moly. Numbers. That's just 100%? Wow. That's incredible. You're all incredible. All right, do you want to see what retail's doing, how they're doing over here? Again, look at this price movement. Looks like an exponential curve, doesn't it? Those of you that ever took a math class. Yeah, I wonder why. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't even think they're buying shares anymore. There might be literally no one buying shares anymore. It's just all options and fucking the money. At what point do market makers just say, okay, we're fucking literally just trading with each other. Let's just keep the price the same. Let's just literally keep the price the same. Why are we trying to arbitrate? Why are we trying to like beat each other? Let's just fucking trade the same way. I really hope. Listen, on a true fundamental basis, GameStop really should be doing an offering. They should be fucking selling off everything. Like there has to be. I would be so surprised if somehow they did not take advantage. Like AMC, look at AMC's price. They did offerings, came out of bankruptcy. How could you not take advantage of this moment? That's the whole reason of being public, is to raise capital. There's no reason to be public if you're never going to offer anything. You're supposed to raise capital as a public company. That's the whole fucking point of being public. If they don't do anything here, then I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense. They should be doing an offering or selling off every fucking store. And I posted on Twitter like a few months ago. They should honestly go Woolworth. You guys remember all those Woolworth retail stores? They used to have a bunch of stores all in New York City. Woolworth. They had hundreds, all over the country. Hundreds of stores. You know what they did? They said, fuck the store. It was like CVS, basically. They said, fuck the store. You know what we're going to do? We're going to sell the real estate. Lease it. Lease the real estate. Why? Because they'll make significantly more money than they would just having their own fucking store there. So they leased all those buildings, all the real estate, and made an absolute killing. Still are. Still are. Do you know what that's called, guys? When you go from one plan to another because you can make more money doing something else? It's called opportunity cost. You know what happened? The fucking advent of economists happened. They had a bunch of accountants, and then one day, this is literally the story. This is quite literally the story here in New York City, in the Woolworth office building. They had a bunch of fucking accountants. And the accountants kept going, listen, we're making, I don't remember what the percent was, but it was like, we're making like 5-6% a year from all of our stores, right? How do we get things going? And they couldn't figure out for years how to get more profit. They were making like a small amount of profit. It's a bunch of accountants. You know what they did? They hired an economist, and the economist said, you know what? You're losing money every year. And the accountants said, what are you fucking talking about? We're not losing money. Here's the profit. You guys know the difference between accounting profit and economic profit? The difference is the opportunity cost of doing one thing over the other. So you know what the economist that came in said? By the way, just graduated. Wasn't even the smartest one in the room. He said, well, you're missing the opportunity cost of just fucking leasing all the land you have, all the buildings you have. You would make twice as much money just leasing the buildings as it is just to be fucking selling shit in them. So you know what they did? They got rid of every single store they had. I mean, they kept a few. And they leased the land and now make a shit ton of money because of it. Just because of that one idea. That's what you should be doing. Every single decision you make, there's another decision you could make. If you don't take into consideration how much money you can make from something else, then what the fuck are you doing? What's the point? Keep doing the same boneheaded thing? No. That's a true story, by the way. That is a true story. So that's what they should do, honestly. And I would have to imagine that, I mean, come on now. There's got to be something there. Has to be. All right, give me 1 sec. All right. Uber coming into 57.90. It's between Uber and Lyft. Been talking about these trades. They're not connected to anything, so they're trades that we can make outside of the idea of value, growth, macros. They still have macros that are tied into them, but they're not so much on the value or growth side. Makes it a little bit easier to trade those. Things like DraftKings and Penn are also similar. DraftKings has continued. So again, those of you that made this trade from here, again, put your winnings unless you need to beat yourself. Or if you make a specific trade and you have a plan for it, again, I took profit on plenty of marches over here. Did I not push my positions? Did I go against my own rules? No, that wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make any sense at all. Wouldn't make any sense. 10% coming on DraftKings. 10% for doing nothing. Apps, 8210 for watching. 8210 on apps. CLNE really taking off again. Clean energy. Clean energy. HMHC. Cute. Home builders continue Rad continues. Retail stores continue. ZI I do like above this 47 level. So ZI is good. A lot of volatility. Big pullback. Do like that chart. COVID winners obviously have continued since the lows. Talked about Zoom, a few others, Etsy, Eton, Arc is continuing to move again. It looks like the rest of the market. We're not seeing a break of the trend line right now, though. We're not seeing it. So again, this whole I'll leave the trend line in there. I know we have a lot of levels on the chart, but it's okay. So again, I mean, we made another big move. We're still up almost 1%. The move is continuing, lower highs. But again, this candle, it does look like a pullback candle. So it looks like maybe by Friday, if for instance, we take profit into tomorrow here as well into the support on the Nasdaq, then it looks like maybe Friday we'll be testing the candle again. So we'll see. But if it doesn't go through today, then it does look like we're going to pull back into the support here tomorrow. So if you're in positions, you need to know that, okay, if I'm not going to hold through this support bounce, then I might as well get out of it here if we're not going to break through, right? Keep those in mind. Neo pulling back quite a bit, rejected at the level, talked about it, rejected right on the level. This is a level from back in here. Levels continue to matter. Z is staying in that supply. We haven't seen direction yet. Yep, apps broke through the level. Let's see. TNK heading up to that 1422. That's just continued to trend. Hasn't even strayed. Healthcare and bio continue to bounce back. Very good. Looks very good. Even someone that really got beat up. Ford continues again. I know you get some things that jumped off the page yesterday, continued a bit today, but the charts that continue to trend are just better. They're just better. What is the Ford motto? Ford built tough, built different. Just built different. I don't care about trucks or anything. I don't even fucking drive. I haven't driven in like 10 years, so I don't give a fuck about cars. The new Ford Broncos? Hell yeah. I love trucks. I'm a hog. Yeah, I haven't driven in fucking 10 years, guys, so again, I'm not a very good gauge. Went to buy a Tesla. They told me you need to have a driver's license. I went, oh, forgot about that. ET? I see you guys really talking about. Let's take a look. Wait, what? Maybe ET is a fake out? Hold on. Wait, why are you guys all putting question marks? I'm really confused. I'm guessing you're all saying it because it's breaking out, because that's what you see with your own fucking eyes, right? Hey guys, you don't need to doubt yourselves. You guys see it. You don't need someone else to tell you. You see it. I think, and you guys also, I mean, I don't know. Now I can't fucking tell. I can't ever tell if people are trolling or what. Anyway, no, the thing here, guys, like maybe it's because we're thinking about all of this in here. I'm not actually sure. I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, you guys would be in this position watching it. You know it's breaking. I know most people took the trade over here, and then yeah, if we got out of it, but again, you would be entering on the next break if you're not already in the position. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. There's not like a is it doing it or not. It's did it fucking do it or not? Okay, first of all, has it made the move since this breakout? Yeah, it fucking has, right? What's happening in here? Well, now it's consolidating this entire rally in here, right? It's consolidating in here. All you need to do is watch, wait, and then pull the trigger. You'll know. Here, let me put it on the... Doesn't help. Okay. Here's the high over here. Okay. When you make these trades, guys, you, in these moments, right, when you're doing these trades, you make the trade not when it gets up to there. You can make it on the break above, right, which would be the break above that high, and you pull the trigger. Or you make it from a pullback so that you're in the position so that when it gets up to the point, you're either going to continue to push it through there, hold it because it's not a full rejection and you're still up in your position, or you're literally taking profit on it and trying to make the trade. In this sort of situation here, right, you have a trend, it's continuing to go to the upside. You know it's getting pushed between, right? It's getting pushed into the upside. So it's either going to break and you take the trade, or you're entering already from open or something. If you're watching it, then you can't be watching it unless that's the part of the plan, right? You enter from that first when that's breaking out, then you're entering it because why? There's points to capture, and you're trying to get in while the move is happening. Or you're just waiting anyway, and so you have a point. You put the contracts, you buy right on the level. But again, you should always be entering before that. Yeah, if you haven't entered, then you're just waiting for it to break through. Otherwise, those of you that were like thinking about it, like looking at it, like JJR says, I've been watching it for the last few days. Something like that means that then there was at some point, like if you're watching it, I mean, from Friday is a whole nother thing, but anywhere in these, then you would have definitely been we enter it open, right? You enter it open. Do you wait until lunch to then go enter it as it breaks the level? No, we don't trade like that. You don't get to decide when and how these things happen. So again, that's where like the price watching thing, that's the real price watching I'm talking about. It's not like the big shit, like where like something's going up like a ton, like Tesla yesterday. We all watched price yesterday. Of course, we're not gonna, what are we gonna do? Like, there's nothing to do there. This is the price watching I'm talking about, where it's like, and again, I'm not shitting on anyone, I'm just talking about the way you trade, where if you're watching price for the last few days and you're looking for an entry, again, there's somewhere in here where you're going to be able to convince yourself in hindsight that you should have entered. So you got to do that in the moment, right? Do it in the moment. Those of you that are not in position, then yes, you're literally just waiting. You're waiting, or what would you be doing? If there's a pullback opportunity, then just buy it because you want to fucking be a part of it. So if you're now just watching it now, then now what are you doing? Well, now you're looking for a pullback buy to go into the upside. Why? Because you'd rather be buying it lower than up higher, right? You want to buy it lower. It's like a big zone in here. I would say it's a bit of a zone around the 72 teens level, 72.20. To where price is now. 72.10 to 72.20 is a bit of a supply zone. CVS. I mean, again, this is tight. I mean, you got RAD, WBA as examples as well. This trend line actually sucks. I'm not even gonna draw it. I mean, look at the consolidation. It's gross. Gross. Swinging back and forth. Lower range, you can just buy it at the lower range if you're going to do it. This is not as good as the others. Just not as good as the others. Not as good. Not even close. Level of volatility, level of movement. We don't trade things that don't move. This is fucking movement. This is something's wrong here, right? People are getting wrong. It's not just swinging back and forth doing nothing. There is people that are right, there's people that are wrong, there's volatility that we can take advantage of. If there's no movement, we can't do shit. There's literally no point of trading something if it doesn't move. Because we needed to go from one point to another, A to B, and we profit between the B minus A, right? Otherwise, we ain't doing shit. These are significantly better. Significantly better. I mean, we're up 7.5% today on RAD. We didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. All we did was pick the right ticker. We chose to trade this over, for instance, CVS. This is where that decision comes in, and where I spend 15 hours a day looking at fucking charts so I can be like, you know what? I'm going to trade that over this. I'm going to make the same trade at open. It's literally the same fucking trade. The difference is what I'm going to get afterwards. And now, again, you don't get to see into the future, so it's probability. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, but it's not really being right or wrong. Everyone's making the same sort of decisions. And again, you don't get to decide. You get to react. That's it. So we react based on the plan. That's it. So, again, when you look at the difference between these, you guys fucking know. But yeah, that's a big part of it, for sure. Okay, let's see. I know GoPro's getting mentioned. Been talking about GoPro since $8. Again, we trade GoPro when it's above $8. Really, it's just like when I talk about $10 being the mark for options. On GoPro, $8 just happens to be the mark. Happens to be the mark. It's like Ford used to be, and at the level. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think's happening? I've talked about GoPro has a ton of options. What has this month been all about? What have I been saying every day? That big S word, and I don't... Is there any bad? No, there's not. Squeeze. Gamma squeeze. From all the March monthlies. That's all that's happening. Why? Because there's a fuck ton of calls out there. That's why. That's why. $14.53 is SBLK. Now you would need to see movement because these last candles are kind of gross. Kind of gross. You'd definitely like to see movement there for that to be possible. Let's see. SBH continues. Don't even need to look at that chart. You don't even look at the P&L on that. You just let it keep going. Let's see. Gross. Everything's coming into this trend line across the market. Everything's coming into this trend line. All of growth. Everything. Everything. What does that trend line signify? I don't know. Yields are up. Values up. Rotations in. Continues. Oh, fuck me. I just put my whole reverse mortgage on Tesla. On tech. You gotta be kidding me. I put my whole reverse mortgage. I was in at 720 or 700. I was in at 6900, 690, 6969. Back. I put my whole reverse. I got a reverse mortgage on my house, on my mother's house to get that money, and I put it all in on Tesla. Fuck me. Big mistake. Those of you that don't know that I'm joking, fucking take a chill pill. The rotation's continuing? Oh no. Oh no. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh God. Is it a take profit day from the giant day from yesterday? Probably. Probably when something goes up 20%, it should probably come back down a little bit. I mean, I would really hope so. It looks like it's just going to be with the support here. But again, beating a lot of historical data, so we'll see. And again, this is again where I can have rules and tell you like this is how you should do things, but again, a lot of the times it's just I can tell you to push your winnings, right? But some of you are now looking at this and going, "Oh shit, I should have taken profit 20 minutes ago." Again, if the plan is to keep pushing your trade into the next week, then you don't need to fucking care about any of the price movement right here. No. If you're going to push tomorrow, prices will probably be up tomorrow on your position. Let's just say that. So you push through it's taking some of the profit off the top, right? And that's what you need to push through. That's it. But some of you then get hit with that situation, so then you end up taking profit at a very low point when you could have just done it earlier because you know yourself better. You know yourself better than the market does. So even though based on the rules you should be pushing that position, you ended up exiting it. So again, you need to beat yourself first. So figure it out. Twitter, possible bear flag. Don't think so, but let's take a look. Don't think so. Don't think so. It's a little too bullish. A little too bullish. And there's more going on in here. If we just looked at it like this, and this was all there was for candles, then I would say this is pretty bearish. Definitely bearish. And I would say this looks like the rest of tech over the last week and a half. But with everything in here, I wouldn't say it. No. If it breaks down, then it breaks down. But I wouldn't make a trade right here. Wouldn't make a trade. Meh. Don't think so. I wouldn't bet against it. That's what I would say. Even if it broke here, I wouldn't bet against it because again, everything is tied in together. Now, it has been getting tied into growth. So again, I think there is okay. This has bounced back here yesterday. Tech bounced back yesterday. Now, Twitter is obviously following into here, but it wasn't falling into that before, right? Twitter was actually doing well through this part, right? So maybe it's tied into growth right now. This is, again, where things being tied together matter. But Twitter, that would only happen if tech broke down here. Is that likely to happen? We don't know. I mean, I find it very strange that this happened. But are things just now going to break down? I mean, probably not. All Twitter needs, and some of those tickers that look like that, all it needs is to continue posting higher lows, consolidate a little bit, go laterally a little bit, starts to break some of the trends, right? I think the whole market's just risk on, right? The whole market's just risk on. I find it. I don't think anything's getting beat up. The only reason why things would get beat up is if it goes back into full rotation, which it's the rotation's still happening right now, but I mean like back over here where we're shorting all the fucking growth, and that would be from yields. So this is where it doesn't come from the actual individual charts; it comes from the macro side. If yields jump up again, we have like a problem with treasuries again, then it's going to cause this shit to break down and get fucked for sure. Fucked in the sense that it's just going to return. So that could certainly happen. Absolutely. But it's going to be hard to use like timings on some trend lines and shit like that. It's just support for now. But definitely, I mean, it looks like one. It looks like one. But I'm going to be very careful. Very careful. Yeah, until things break down. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I didn't say it properly. That could very well. This could very well break this trend here and make it look like a bear flag. But I'm not going to short here. I'm not going to short it as it breaks down. I'm not going to short any of tech if it breaks down. I'm not going to do that. I did it back, not on this chart, but I did it back here. I shorted tech. I absolutely shorted tech here. I'm not going to short it here, though. I'm not going to short it here. So even if there's breakdowns, I could have like classic breakdowns. I could literally chart it. Classic breakdowns or something. Something that I understand. But I'm not going to short it there. Why? Because it's different here. It's completely different over here compared to over here. Completely different now. Why? Because there's way more. First of all, we got more and more clarity, and then we got yesterday. And then yesterday happened. No more. No more. It's not happening. I'm not shorting any of this shit. It's not happening. The shorting growth is the same as me being long in fucking value. They're literally the same thing. I'd be doubling down. I don't need to double down. Same with all of you. You don't need to double down. If you're already long on one side, you don't need to short the other side unless it's within that same moment. It's no longer the same moment. It's fucking completely different. We got again, we got a whiplash yesterday on some of these tickers that we weren't shorting anymore. But again, people didn't just come crawling out of the woodwork. People didn't just fucking all of a sudden show up. NASDAQ doesn't go up 4% by just fucking chance. It's the squeeze. It's literally everything's getting squeezed. Now, price will be violent up and be violent down because of the gamma squeeze idea. But it's showing itself. It's proving itself. And that's confirmation of that idea. Are we going to short a gamma squeeze? No, that'd be fucking stupid because you don't get to choose the direction. No one knows. I can promise you through my own research and everything else, no one fucking knows the full brunt of the timing, how it works. We know how the algos are programmed on the market maker side to make decisions, but we don't really know how much it takes. The math, it's not the math that matters. It's fucking all of us making decisions that add up to something happening. And we can't do anything about those. We can understand it on a macro level, but not micro. So again, some of the micro things that happen here. This, since it's losing, think about it. If we go 1-to-1 and just call that this candle here is fully gamma related, all of the options out there that are betting on, that there's just calls out there for tech. So they had to be hedged, right? So the underlying was bought. Is this momentum being lost? Is this acceleration losing? Yes. So that means more is going to be lost. If we just did that every single day, then what would price look like? It would look like this. It'd be like bing, bang, boom, bang. That's what this is. That's literally what we did, right? So we have been doing that. We know that's literally what all this is, right? This is, oh, gotta buy the underlying. Oh, don't need to buy the underlying anymore. Sell it. Oh, buy the underlying. That's all market makers in here. It's all institutions doing that. This is not consolidation. This is just all of the options out there getting squeezed one way and then the other. That's all this is. So keep these ideas in mind. This is not you and I over here all of a sudden, like, think of common sense. Do you buy something and then immediately sell it and then buy it again and then immediately sell it? That doesn't make any sense. We don't do that. You don't trade like this. No one here and no one in the market would do that because no one did. Literally no one fucking did. No one did. It's just hedging back and forth the calls. And then you know what happens? Everyone's buying calls. Market makers don't need to hedge anymore. Market starts to sell. And then what happens? Oh, all of a sudden you can start to buy more calls again. It came back into your level. Start buying them again. Oh, don't need to hedge anymore. Hedge. Don't need to buy anymore. Oh, buy. The same thing happening, guys, right? So again, that would be like the one-to-one, fully just not taking into any other things into consideration if we just held everything constant. That's literally what's fucking happening. That's it. So, again, I don't know, guys. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Why did it go up so much yesterday? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. But I can tell you what's doing better overall. And that's value, still. Let's go take a look at the dollar. If we use the same ideas, the dollar goes up because yields are going up and because reinflation's happening. That's the right now, the correlation. We go take a look. Yields are up. Yields are up. Dollar's up. Value's up. Tech is down. Now, tech was supposed to be down today because it should historically take profit today. So we can't go fully into one-to-one like that. We understand that, well, NASDAQ did 4% yesterday. It really should be taking profit, at least 1 to 2% of that, right? Because that's how it should move. Otherwise, it's not really healthy and no one really knows what they're doing. So, you know. Buy the dip. Buy the fucking dip. Market's risk on. Buy the dip. Fucking Berkshire. Oh. All my homies love Berkshire Hathaway. I'm not a passive investor. I'm an active trader. How'd you make all your money? Oh, I traded Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, again, some of you are trading dumb shit, and still our value charts continue to do great. So, I mean, the same things apply, guys. I mean, the same things apply. There's so many examples I could use that are really infuriating to some of you. And like when I show you this chart, and all you had to do is keep pushing the trade, and if you had short terms transition and buy the pullbacks that are very clear, and you just keep pushing this trade and making something out of it, instead of trying to make something that's not working work. And then it works all of a sudden, and then you want to make it continue to work, but it only has so much room. This just trade here, again, you will make more points on the options here than you will on tech. I promise you. Promise. Tesla makes 20% move. That's a big number. Apple makes a big move. You get something like Netflix, whatever the tech company is, makes a big move. Okay. Something makes 10%. You know what the difference is between that and then this chart doing 2% today? It's a big fucking difference. Big difference. Not only in risk, the risk part of it, the risk involved with the trade is major. Major difference. Major difference between the risk involved with buying this goddamn slow moving tank, old man sort of trade, and then tech. But the reward, the exponential, is significantly different. Significantly different. Not just because it's not, instead of just 1 day of gains, you get a month of gains. Big difference. BRKB trendline comes in at 270, 271. Hmm. Fuck, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go. Nightly news, baby. Small caps, never letting us down. Laughing to the bank. Laughing to the bank. Buy the dip. Buy the fucking dip. Is that what they say? Is that what they say? Can't seem to find the GE chart. Looking for support. Because there's not a new GE chart. We've just been trading it. We had a trend line here that we entered on. Because we were trading the entire aerospace and defense sector. There's other aerospace and defense sector charts out there. DFEN, RTX, TGI. You can look at those levels for some understanding of the sector. But we have this here. We have that there. That trend line. I mean, the next level's not... there's not a level except for over here. This is the level. This is just pushing through the highs. So, down in here. Down here. There you go. There you go. This is the GE chart. This is the GE chart from back in the summer of last year. And we've been trading. We've been trading value, right? So again, a lot of our value charts are just these bottom triangles from last year. Over here is just noise from over here. Now, if you're getting boned in this position, then common sense will prevail. I promise. Common sense will prevail. Common sense will prevail in this trade. That's all you need to know. But yeah, there is no level because again, it's at a high. It's at a high. It's selling on news. Absolutely. Any levels on MRVL? I've got 4412. Mm. Bing, bang, bong. Something like that. Something like that. Those of you that can't fucking see, I added 4297 and 4751. That's what I added to MRVL. Let's see what these guys are doing. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Little over six. It's about 6.5% on the underlying for WBA since entries. Um, my hypothesis would be for the idea of squeeze. We already knew that there was going to be a squeeze across the market. Now there was nothing really in the option, so we made it happen. So there wasn't again the. We know that there's going to be a squeeze across the market for March monthlies. So looked for a ticker that didn't have anything, not really many options out there, so went ahead and caused the same thing within this ticker. Now, the hypothesis would be how would that react to supply? So one of the questions that I'm wondering is how do market makers react to supply on charts? There's an obvious trend line, there's obvious levels of supply. How do they react to it? So far, we have rejection on the trend line. There's also rejection across the market on a trend line, so it's hard to say exactly how much this is being affected by the individual ticker. Not exactly sure. And then what's the reaction above here? My hypothesis would be that as soon as this level breaks, this is going to get absolutely just squeezed out of its mind and put a lot of points on. Because at that point, you're now no longer having a block of supply. It should honestly follow the same rules that, okay, you're removing the supply, and now you have there's no sellers above you, even though it's market makers doing the dirty work. Basically, at that point, the gamma should be increasing at such a rate that they have to start hedging all the deltas over here, which again is everything above all of the 50 mark. All of the 50 mark starts to become something you have to hedge. The 50 mark is also where the supply is. So what happens? Basically, the break-even point for those 50s, they become something you have to hedge. And so what happens there? Well, all of a sudden, you don't really have much to buy, and it squeezes the price to the upside. This should honestly it should just, as soon as it breaks this level, that's also the point at which the contracts become intrinsic. They have intrinsic value, and there's so much momentum here, which, again, the gammas, we're using acceleration here, that market makers have to fucking buy, and everything gets pushed. That also leads to more momentum on the option side, so more calls are being bought, which means more calls written, which means more underlying needs to be hedged, which is also at the same rate that they had to buy in here. So everything they've been buying over here, they have to now buy over here, but they're paying at a higher price because of themselves. So the hypothesis should be that, okay, we squeezed through here. Now it's at a point of all of these calls need to be put to use. Delta hedged. Fucking buy it. You should see a big candle through here. If what we think is true. So hypothesis. This week you should see a big fucking spike through this level. If price is above this level, it should move quickly, instantly. Instant pricing. If price is above this level, instant pricing. That's it. If not, then okay, well, we have a different understanding and we'll be able to use that data. If price is above this level, it should instantly get priced to the next level. Wherever the fucking contracts are. Wherever they're being written. Whenever the supply runs out. Boom. That's what should happen. I mean, it would be nice. For sure. That way, I mean, but I'm not getting biasly driven. I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck this shit works. But yeah, I am sitting on a lot of calls there. Feels a little dirty. Hopefully no windbreakers. Just research. Just doing scientific research with all these drugs. What are you doing with all those WBA calls? I don't know, but we're going to find out together, sir. Unbelievable stuff. Great content. Z finally breaking through that level. At what point would I take profit on this? It would be a rejection, and it would be 2 daily candles, right? So if it just sat here all day today, never broke through supply, let's say this still just stays in here, then tomorrow at open, I'll be doing it off of a tick base. If it ticks down, then I'll be taking profit. But 2 dailies, absolutely. Unless this just started to sell down here, then I would just get fucking, just get beat out, be done, stopped out, or I would be like, okay, this was way too much selling, I'll get out of here. But so far, we're just stuck in the supply, breaking through possibly, and tomorrow will be a decision. Again, it's up 6%, so fucking certainly in profit. But just for those of you wondering decision making. Let's see. Again, we're entering lunch. The lunch area pricing is getting a little, low volume, not much accuracy. What's happening right now? Well, tech came into its support. We talked about it. This is a good spot for it. And consolidate down here even. And consolidate underneath the trend line. That's what price needs to do. Needs to make a lateral move. What's happening on the other side? Well, the Dow keeps climbing through all-time high, so value continues. So tech is taking a breather. Value is continuing. Small caps are also continuing. Did not pull back past its open. Continues to climb. Another big day. Another big fucking day. Remember, this gapped up here. This is 1.5%. This gapped up from the start. Closed 2% higher. These are just, they're roaring. Not roaring kitty. Deep fucking value. He's not roaring anymore, but he's moon basing it. Hopefully he gets to keep his money. Cosa Nostra does still own IWM contracts. That's right. I do not touch your trades. You guys are still going. You guys are looking great. They're looking great. Somebody made some nice trades for you guys. Good shit, guys. The fuck was that? Here, I'll give you guys a screenshot. Yeah, I know. Give you guys a screenshot of your account. You guys are, you're clawing back. Technically, you guys are still down like $470 since the start of the account. Your trades are down $470, but things have changed a little bit, right? But you guys are technically down that much. Fuck, I'm opening up on the wrong screen. Yep. There's that. This is your account. There you go. You guys are up a little over $500 today. A little over 730 on the position. Again, if you look at the market value, you got about 2,700 in that position. You guys started the account at 3,200, right? 3,200. There's about $100 in there in cash from you guys. So you guys are at like 2,800. So about $400 you guys are down. Now, it's basically everything over 25,000 can be used in the account. So the other $4,000 in there is from the other trades I made. So we're not including those. You still only work with the 3,200, but you guys are not dead at least. Party's getting going over here. 11 o'clock. Get some time before lunch. Swing it back up. We're going to pop up the support, or are we going to just sit down here? That's a question that should get answered in the next 10 minutes or so. Dow is pushing back through all-time high. So now the big breakout candle through the all-time high. Those of you that still don't know how to trade through all-time highs, welcome to 2021. Markets are at all-time high, unless you're trading tech. So you just keep pushing through all-time high. That's the answer. You don't think about it. You just know it's the reality. You just keep pushing through. Keep pushing your winnings. Unless you succumb to hyperbolic discounting. If I offer you guys $100, I'll pay you $100 today, or if you wait, in 2 weeks I'll pay you $200. Make it 1 week. Today, listen, do you guys want me to pay you $100 today? Or if you just wait 1 week, I'll pay you $200. Which one do you want? All of you would say, give me the $100, buddy. That's called hyperbolic discounting. Sometimes the number's a little bigger. Sometimes it's in your own account. Sometimes you don't even end up getting any of the money because you spend it. You waste it. Free money. I'll spend it on something stupid now. Wiz is incorrect. I don't know what he's talking about. He's not even in the call. Hasn't even looked at the chat. He's got no fucking clue. Don't listen to Wiz. Remember, he's only got his phone. So he's trying to trade, watch the stream, look at the charts, go to his broker, make a trade, come back, listen, look at the Cosa Nostra account. I mean, it's hard on one little phone, right? I think he's got an iPhone 4.5, whatever that one is. This really small one. He's got big thumbs. Got big thumbs. It's fucking difficult, guys. Hard. Very difficult. Difficult stuff. That's all right. Oh god. What am I looking at here? All right, let's get some news on bonds. Let's get some shit. Let's see. Hey, you guys are gonna get your money. Like the four of you in chat. $1,400. Congrats, guys. I think the house is voting soon. Good job. Good job. Job. Hmm. That's the schedule right there. That is the schedule. That's the one I use. That's the one I use. And then I look. And then I watch on IB. Gives me the I mean, it gives all of you the data. I just watch. I see the buying. I see the selling. I go, ooh, look at that. The 7-year wasn't bought a month ago. Look at us go down. That's it. That's all I got. Can't wait to dump all that stimmy money in the broker. Blow it all on tech calls. There you go. There you go. Remember, it doesn't take very much money to make a lot of money. 100% on $1,400 is how much? Math guy in the chat? Oh, gotta take into consideration that broker fee. 2021 broker fees, am I right? Did you ever mention Yelp? I know the 5-minute chart's ugly. I bring you to the daily. Tightening. Looking to break through supply. It's pretty close. Pretty close. Need some volume. Need some orders. Nothing really changing towards the top. Again, there's some decisions being made right now by everyone, whether or not we're chilling for lunch. What are we doing here? Again, the timing is always a little finicky. Timing is gonna be very strange on a day like today. There's no way to fucking know. There's just no way to know. I would say if we're gonna melt up for lunch, shit would get going. Again, lunch. I mean, it's early, right? So when I talk about right now, I'm just talking about like predating that 12 to 2 area, right? So usually I'll talk about it, and then like by 12 o'clock, you'll start to see whatever was going to happen start to happen, right? So I'm not talking about right this fucking second, but whether or not we're going to be just, again, no one does much of anything during lunch. That's just the reality. There's not much volume, right? All the volume's at the open and all the volume's at the close. That's it. So yeah, during lunch, shit just moves. Sometimes things happen. Yeah, it depends. It depends. But it's just nobody, again, we trade when there's higher volume, because if there's no liquidity, it's really fucking hard to trade. How many times have you guys tried to make trades where there's no one trading and it's just nothing happens? You're wasting your time. So we all agree to do things at the same time because it makes fucking common sense, right? Common sense. Hey man, listen, I put a buy order in and no one's buying it or no one's selling to me. What should I do? It's 1 o'clock. I'm here working so hard, and you know what I ended up doing? I placed a market order, and now my fucking order's down minus 50%. I don't know what I did wrong. You learn really quick. Oh, I should just. Oh, right. I should just trade it open and close. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Right. That's all you need to know. Greg needs to eat too, says Spoon. Greg's head's in the macaroni bowl half the time, so. Whoa. Ecto, you don't even. Why would you say that? That's not very nice. You guys are so fucking stupid. Well, I don't take anyone seriously. Hey, man. Should we roast more people? Should we roast more people that DM me? Hey, man, why are you so angry today? Is everything okay in your life? Hey, man, why were you so angry today? Is everything okay in your life? What the fuck, guys? It's fucking scary. I don't even know you. Jesus. Shit's fucking creepy sometimes. Like I have to literally look behind me sometimes. I gotta look in my rooms. Thank God I don't have that big of an apartment. Look in my different rooms. I'm in the office, right? I get out of the office, look in the living room, look in the kitchen. All right, go over to the bathroom, look in the bathroom. Okay. Go into the bedroom. Okay, nothing in the bedroom. Go over to the hallway where my laundry is. Look in the laundry closet. Look in my walk-in closet. Done. Takes me like 20 seconds. Make sure those creepers aren't in my fucking room. Scary out there. Pajama traders could be sitting on my couch in their pajamas. Sometimes I wake up and there's just people in my apartment. I'm like, what are you doing here? Who are you? I don't know you. What the fuck is Uber doing today, says JJR. Let's take a look. It's breaking out. It's about to go to 60. You have a hallway in New York. Hallway to my front door. My apartment door. It's all you have in New York. I live in a hallway. No, I bought my first apartment last year. Did it in the chat. Did it with chat. Bought my first apartment. This is moving really slow, actually. Yeah, this is just like lunchtime blues. But look at the tightening. This should just go right now. If it's going, like it should go to 60 right now. If it's going, JJR is right. This right here, this what you see right here, it needs to go right now if it's doing anything. This right triangle you're seeing, this needs to go right now to 60, or it's just gonna melt down for lunch. But I mean, it should. I would say it goes to the upside right now. If not, it doesn't matter because I'm not fucking doing anything. So you want me to push it? I'm just kidding. I can't. It's Uber. Push Walgreens. What did you do today? Oh, I'm running a research project and I bought a bunch of Walgreens calls and I'm gonna see if I can get a gamma squeeze. Very tied into the color and charm higher order derivatives. Whether or not this is gonna work, mom, but yes, that's what I did today. Wait, so you're saying you wasted money to do research on something that it doesn't really matter, but you're just interested in? Yes, exactly. Awesome. Have a great day. Fib says, I only live in an 8-bedroom house and use 3. LOL, says Fibs. Live in the middle of what? Bumfuck? Where? East Bumfuck? The shanties? Where can you get an 8-bedroom house? Maybe. Where is it? Maybe the burbs? Burbs? No, I believe you have an 8-bedroom house. Is it the same orphanage that you grew up in? Oh, Jesus. You guys remember that one big giant house that your town had growing up and you're like, what is that giant fucking house? Holy shit, that's a big house. They have a lot of kids. They all look different too. Bibbs was like, I'm buying that fucking house. Kids, find a new home. Yeah, those houses are fucking scary. No, like where I grew up, we had one of those too. It's like, what the fuck is that thing? It's like they built a bunch of houses on top of each other and shit. Obviously joking, guys. Those of you that get offended, you literally go fuck yourselves. Like, holy shit. Chill. We're having fun. We will speak over DM later. Wait, Don, I thought you were progressive. I am. I am progressive. Yeah, it's Brian. When Brian and I met up in Vegas, he told me all kinds of shit to my face in front of all kinds of people. Just look at that. You can't tell me that he's not going. He's whispering to me in my ear. Go fuck yourself, you fucking loser. And that's my poker attire. That's why we look like shit because we are busy, you know. You should have saw the fucking idiots sitting next to me. The table I was playing at, I was playing with this lady that is like the head of one of the largest. I don't even know what the company is, but like one of the mortgage dealers, and so she was talking to like to everyone at the table about mortgages. This is also when we were just doing like home building and shit, so I was like listening very attentively. But she was wearing like a full face shield. This older woman, full face shield. You could tell she just like rolled out of bed, already had some drinks. Fucking big stack comes in with just big stack. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? Starts talking about mortgages and shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Talking to the dealer about how he should get a new mortgage, get a new house. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? People are so strange. Different kind of money. Different kind of money. Scary. All right, still tightening in here in Uber. We'll see if it tightens more in here. The 5 minutes probably, you don't want to use this. This does not help. This is not going to help you, so it's too much. 1 minute. Oh, there you go. That makes a lot more sense, right? Get out of here. Just stuck at resistance. A lot of supply in there. Um, let's see. This Grubhub move, it looks like it is going to move up to the supply here at 70. So, again, there's this connection between this and Yelp and some of the, again, fundamental, sure, but it's the sector, right? There's a sector convergence here. This has been beat to shit over this time. Over here, Grub did very well. And it was very easy to trade because of the trend. It was slow moving and slow going, but this has been continuing to. It's not that something has happened, so it will happen again, but again, consolidations, or I would call this a major sort of move, leads to something major in return. That is how things work. So I was obviously looking at this little earlier and trying to get something out of it. But we had this trend line from a couple weeks ago, this candle over here, and then it broke down. But you can see the difference between how it's moving now above this trend line. That's all you really need to know. Even if you just look at this to learn from it, I think this trend line got drawn back here. It might have been even before this date because it doesn't line up, so it even might have been this date. January 29th, I drew it. Continue to stay underneath the trend line. Gets squeezed in here, right, between the level, and then it broke down, right? Now it's a new chart over here. Broke through the trend line, making moves. We'll see. Feel like we'll see. Everything is still on the uptrend, right? Everything's on the uptrend, higher lows. The Dow being an all-time high is a really big thing for today. Again, I would say that would be the highlight or like the standout thing so far of the day. Everything else is in line with what it would you would expect it to be doing. The SPY hanging out on the trend line, right? Taking a little bit of profit from yesterday's move, but it wasn't that big of a move on the SPY considerably. The Qs, the Nasdaq makes a lot of sense where it was. Now, because of the way it opened up, the price movement makes sense. If it opened up lower, it would have made the same price move. It makes sense here, and it makes sense that it came into the support. So it's trading on its support. We now have learned a little bit about this trend line, right? We learned a little bit more about this trend line, so that stands out and that's helpful. But to be expected, the movement that it's had so far, right? I would say it's actually done a little. It's performed a little bit more bullishly because of again where it opened. So there's that. Small caps, very much in line with the trend it's been on. It makes a lot of sense. It's continuing to go towards the all-time high. It's up 2% again today. It was up 2% yesterday. It's up 2% again today. Again, if there's any doubt in terms of the small cap rally that's been happening, it's continuing to be proven. Yesterday, random event of a 4% NASDAQ day. Small cap value still goes up 2%. Today, it still goes up another 2%. Again, if those things do not line up and don't trigger some sort of response, I mean, that is just that's bullishness. It's continued confirmation showing what is going on. It's not swinging back and forth, swaying and an unknown and an event happens and it changes the game. No, the game is staying the same. This is super bullish. That's impressive. And then again, really the thing that stands out today that shouldn't be that expected. No one let's just be honest, it's not expected still. That's why it continues to be surprising to the market. The fucking Dow is breaking through all-time highs still. And it's continuing to push through the all-time high right now. That's insane. Not just because I'm in the position. If I wasn't even in the position, I would be trying to get into position because I'd be like, what the fuck is going on in the market? What is going on? Why is the nightly news dictating the market right now? It is. And it doesn't need to. It's not that it doesn't make sense, but again, it doesn't make sense that the Nasdaq was up 4% today or yesterday. The Nasdaq was up 4% yesterday. It's break even today, and the Dow is up over 1.25% again today. That right there, those events don't line up. They don't line up. They're not the same thing at all. Why? Because I can tell you about how those things don't line up at all because you can just look at the Dow chart from before and how disgusting it was. Look at this price action. What is this? What is that? It doesn't even what is that? This doesn't even register on a watch list. It's like break even, 1%, 1, half of 1. Doesn't make any sense. So I mean it does make sense. In that there's no volatility, there's no movement. No one wants anything to do with it. And then the day that everyone wants to go buy tech, the next day is followed by everyone wanting to buy the Dow. While the Dow was already being bought. Again, these things are just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. And oh baby, does it feel good. It does feel good. Uber 60. Again, Lyft Lyft predate or will preempt Uber. Let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. Whoa, 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 come back. Where is Uber? And I know it seems backwards since Uber's much larger. Try to figure out, and I talked about the idea of turn your head a little. Turn your head. Where is Uber in relation to Lyft right now? So I keep saying Uber 60 today. Where is it in relation? It's right here. It's right here. Right? It's right here. Remember this day when we put the Lyft trade in? Straightforward. Starts to break through the resistance. Boom. Take the trade. Uber, same thing. A little earlier, but same thing applies. I would say that's where it is. That's where it is. Z would continue. Z trendline comes in at 157. That's probably going to be important for today again. Now, it didn't make the move yesterday, but it's made the move today so far. So, again, it's confirming the idea. Climb the ladder. Shit gets really interesting around there for sure because you've got, first of all, we broke through these, right? We broke through everything here. So we have no supply other than basically our inbound trend lines from prior moves, which are significant. We know that Z climbs trend lines, trades the trend lines better than most charts, no matter what's going on in the market. So there's macros involved, but again, there's a lot to do with its own trend lines, and it will move based on those, and the pricing will be based on those. So options are very much based on supply of itself. Cute, Brian. Let's see. Melt. FSR continues. Why is this flashing? What's going on here? What's going on over here? What the fuck is this? Huh. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Meme economy is doing very well. This is gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun over here. There has not been many contracts for sale over here. Has not been many for sale. The same short terms that were picked up over here, able to pick up over here, but basically everything else has been staying the same. So, going to be really interesting to see what happens here, especially with an idea that depending on how many calls get produced in here, which again, something like a sell event can cause a bunch of new calls to be written because now everyone wants to buy on a discount. If that happens here, there's going to be a very violent move. I don't know if that's going to happen. Don't know if that's going to happen, but this is setting up a really interesting situation that it's very much like Friday's pullbacks. Friday's pullbacks where things got overdone, and then we bought the pullback, and it was back to break even by Monday, if not more, right? Some of those travel charts, right? Think of like some of the travel charts that pulled back like 10%. In a few hours, they were back, right? This is very close. It's very close to being like that. The only difference is the size of it. The size is a little different, but from what we've seen so far, that sizing does not matter. But I would still say on like some sort of level it does. We'll see. Can you speak to how to enter charts that are bouncing between a trend line and resistance? Okay. Answer is it depends, but let's take a look at HBI. These are really fucking close, so this is not a good example. But let's say it was, I mean, now we're going to use something in hindsight, but you want to be buying on support, whether it's close or not. That's the reality. You buy on support whether it's close or not. You can manage that trade. The only thing that wouldn't be able to, the only reason you wouldn't be able to make the trade is because you don't have the ability to do it. But I would say that most people here by now should be able to be able to enter a trade and then exit in a little, in an hour from now if you had to, if you absolutely had to, right? So for instance, anywhere in this trend line, you should be entering on support. So for instance, this over here, let's just say that this candle didn't exist. If you have this price opening on a trend line, you buy on the trend line, support. Yeah, the resistance is pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty close. Over here, this is like a little too tight and it's right at the apex between the trend line and resistance. So at this point, what do we call this? Converging supply. Price wants to be in there. Price wants to move through that supply. So the difference here is that the question would be over here, if you have a trend line near resistance, can you still buy or do you need to wait for resistance? No, you buy on the trend line. You don't wait to buy later. If you're going to buy it, if you know you're going to buy it, if it breaks the resistance, then buy it fucking now. Doesn't make any sense to wait. Again, that's where like the difference between confidence really comes in, because you're sitting there waiting to go, oh, I'll just wait for it to break the resistance. No, you don't do that. You buy it at the support, right? So always follow the rules that way. Sometimes there's a bit of an error there, which the difference would be like today where you have converging levels of supply. So yes, in this moment, you don't really have a choice. You need to wait for it to move through the supply. If price was down here, let's say price was at like 1940 down here. If price was moving to the upside, you'd be buying it as soon as it ticks towards the upside because it's going to move and gravitate to that supply. Since it's right here, it's a little different. You want to be waiting for that. You want to be waiting for that, but you want to be pulling the trigger immediately. And again, it just depends which side of the level the price is on. But again, price wants to be on that converging supply. That's just how the price is going to work, right? But yeah, this candle here, you're always buying here. Let's say that price from here, any chart, think of this as any chart. You buy here at support on the trend line. Price moves up to the resistance, gets rejected. What are you going to do? Well, it depends on your position, what you plan to do. Let's say you have really short terms and you plan to, if it rejects at the resistance, you're going to take profit, then perfect, take profit. In most situations, you're buying on this trend line for it to fucking go and move through. So you're just going to get stopped out here. You're not going to overmanage the trade in between a trend line and a resistance. So for instance, if price, let's just make a fake phony one. Okay, here's where price is. You're over here trading. You enter a trade, and then it gets rejected. You're not going to try to exit on the resistance, buy again on the trend line to then push back through. You're not going to make multiple trades here. What are you going to do? You're going to buy here. Let me make it like this. You're going to buy here. If it gets rejected here, you let yourself get stopped out. You don't get to decide in between how tight this is here that, oh, I'll take profit, I'll re-enter and buy here and then trade. No, if you buy right here and it gets rejected, you get stopped out. Your stop out's at your break-even point, so here's where you entered. That's where you entered, right? Oh, fuck me. Whatever. Put this one blue. Okay, you entered here. It traded up to resistance. You're going to get stopped out at your break entry. You don't make multiple trades. It's too tight. Let's say this is like 1 to 2%. The range is too small. There's a trend line support. It's most likely to bounce before it's going to break down. So if it does break down, you get stopped out. If it does, right? That's it. Now, let's say you're in this situation where instead you're buying again where it is right now. You're buying in here. Then the same thing applies. The same thing applies. You don't get to decide, well, all right, fuck it. Same thing applies. Buy on the trend line. If it gets rejected, you don't get to just sell immediately. Just get stopped out. You enter a trade, put your stop at your break-even point. That's it. Enter, you buy, put a stop underneath your break-even, right at your break-even. That's it. Whether it goes up or down, doesn't matter. Don't overmanage the trade, right? Obviously, in longer-term situations, you're making different decisions. If you entered here and then price continued and then it broke down, if you were in a trade for a while, right, and it was bouncing back and forth, and then eventually it broke, yeah, you're selling and taking profit right here as soon as it breaks the trend line. You're in a trade for a little while, bounced on support, keep going, you just keep pushing it. As soon as it breaks the trend line, you're out. Let's say this was over a week, right? That's how you reacted to that. If it came into resistance over here, rejected, same thing applies. It's the fucking trend line. You don't decide on this resistance. If price came into resistance here, you're not taking profit on the resistance, you're taking profit on the trend line here. You make that shit break the trend line. Otherwise, it's going to bounce and it's going to continue to the upside. You let that bounce happen, just like over here. You do not say, well, you said to sell at resistance. No, you entered fucking down here, buddy. What are you talking about? You let that shit break the trend line. You make it convince you to get out of the position. If you don't convince me, then I'm pushing the position, right? You're pushing it. If it breaks, you're taking profit. And that's where you don't put a stop in here. Your stop that you put in here, you don't move that stop. Let's say you entered here at 21. You put your stop at 21. You don't move it up here to 22. You leave it right there. You don't get to move your stop. You make your decision yourself. It needs to convince you. Your stop doesn't get to make the decision for you. You make the decision. So that's that. Use that. And again, it's sitting right there at the supply. That makes sense. We've got some GM coming up to its upper bound. We're looking for that to push through the high, of course. This would be an upside breakout. Those of you that were wondering about that, this would be an upside breakout if it breaks through. Yada, 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 bing, bang, boom, to the upside to where? I mean, to where? Well, it would be like this. I mean, can I get a percent there? Well, 15% to the upside over a month or so. Big move. Big move. GME continuing the squeeze. Continuing its squeeze. And look at the price movement. Look at the price movement. You can even see it on the 5-minute. Yikes, yikes, yikes. A lot of market makers. TNK. Through the level. To the upside. Again, we looked at this chart a little earlier ago when it was coming through here. Continues. It actually rejected a little earlier and then it been through. So you're in position, you're in profit, you're looking great. if you get a pullback during lunch, are you going to take profit? Let's say you're in SPY over here. Let's say price pulled down to 385. Would you be taking profit? Uh-oh. That's too much for me. I got to get out of the position. Then just get the fuck out now. Just get out. You can't push the position, then just get out now. Right? Remember that. And that's not shitting on anyone or anything. Not critiquing anyone. Beat yourself first, right? You should always be pushing this position. You should always be pushing this position. But if you're going to be prone to getting out of the position because maybe during lunch there's a pullback, it pulls back during lunch all the time. If I close, it'll be back up there. You're gonna be able, if you can't hold through that, then just take profit before, right? That's going to be a good way to build up confidence and get to the point where you got enough trades to go push through everything, all right? I think I watched a position on Friday. I entered a position on Friday, and it went to almost plus 50%, and it went all the way back down to like plus 5%, and I held through that whole thing until it was over plus 100% on Monday. That shit will happen. Just don't look at your P&L. You're not making the trade for right that moment. You're making the trade for later, for more points. If you don't push that winning, then you're never going to get any money to begin with, right? You got to push those winnings. And that's again where common sense comes in. Common sense will tell you, oh, okay, it's time to get the fuck out of this position. Why? Because it's now going against me. It doesn't make any sense to be in this position anymore. When there's a duh moment, don't ask someone else. Just take your own advice, right? The Homer Simpson, don't. We're looking pretty good, though. Looks like some of you are going to get a little good lunch squeeze. Little lunch squeeze. Oh man. Yeah, my XLE energy position was down yesterday. It was so tough on me. It was really hard. I lost about 1%. Oh, God. Jesus. Someone shoot me. Is everything all right, Don? I know your XLE position was down 1% yesterday. My bank position was down 90 basis points yesterday. It was almost down 1% yesterday. Are you going to be able to make it, Don? How much money did you get on that trade? Like 100 grand? Oh no, how much did you lose, you loser? How does it feel to suck? You suck, jackass. DraftKings continues. We're pushing it up to the, again, up to the high. Expected to be expected today. Don't forget it. Talk about from the open. We did expect it to come up to the upper range from low to high. That's the point of the trade. We don't get to make a decision yet. So some of you during here took profit. You're like, oh, I got to get the fuck out of here. I know there's at least one person in chat that took profit in here. At least one. At least one. Because I know everyone took that trade. Because it's a retail dream. And you took profit, whether it was, again, Monday, it was okay to take profit on those super risky ones. But everyone else that's pushing through, what was the point? I don't know. It's fine. You made fucking money. I'm not telling you that you can't do that. But, again, it doesn't really make sense because you don't get to decide when the high is. This could be the high right here. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Do you know? You don't know. You don't get to just decide based off of one 5-minute candle. 1% to 20%, what is that? Some of these things they don't really add up. So again, try to figure through some of that. X. Let's use common sense for X, right? Common sense for X. What was I saying over here? Oh, we're looking at 22 as the level. I think it was Wiz that asked. Like, Wiz asked, is 1906 or something? Or he said 1960 the level? And then it's like, no, it's 22. It's 22, right? Today it's 22. So it's like the same thing here. I don't know. I can't remember who it was. Somebody, I think it was you, Spoon, or something that like got stopped here. Your stop should have been down here. Stop should have been down here, right? Doesn't make sense to get stopped out here. That would be a take profit order, not a stop order, right? Stops can't be moved. Relative reversal points halfway between. And if there's a level, then you use the level. 19 was the relative reversal point, right there. What do I say every day? What do I say every day? There's going to be, if there's a big buy event, there's going to be a historical take profit day. This was still up. It was still up. It didn't even take, it wasn't even close, right? Now it can happen. But if that happens, you have to re-enter too. Sometimes that will happen to me. I mean, it happens to me all the fucking time where this will start to happen and I get out of the position. That's where you have to re-enter. Why? Because what's changed? It's just taking profit from this whole move, right? Yeah, I would. Don't do any of that shit. Trailing stops, all that shit. Don't do none of that. No. That's again in terms of our method and everything. You can't be doing that. You need to. The big difference. What will happen is if again you put the stop at where you entered, and to exit that position. If you don't get hit by the stop, you need to get yourself out of the position. If it's up to you to make the decision, 9 times out of the 10, you're not taking profit from this move. Because you would have already taken profit fucking way up here. If it's up to you to make the decision and not some stop to make the decision, then you're going to be pushing the position. That's the difference. That's why we don't move. If I move my stop and then I get stopped out, then it's making the decision. It's making the decision for you. Price should have to convince you. Price should have to convince you to, one, get out of the position or to use some common sense, right? Which will usually lead to, oh, this chart's super fucking bullish and I want to push this chart further and I know the resistance isn't until 22, so I'm going to keep pushing it. And I know there's this thing called historical take profit. After a day that price went up over 13.5%, it pulled back a few percent. You got to be able to push through that because why? Because the points that you're getting on top of here are exponential to this point move, right? You're getting more and more. Do you know what we did on X over here? We bought X over here at $8. We bought X over here at $8. You know what we pushed it to? $19 fucking dollars. 19. Yeah, there was pullbacks during there. Little slight pullbacks. We didn't take profit through any of that shit. It was an 8% day over here. People would call you crazy. Not when you're up already fucking 40%. 8% to 40? What do I care? Think about it in terms of relation, right? Relative. Now, this thing whacks the fucking trend line and reverses. Absolute rejection. Yeah, then I'm going to get the hell out of the position. If price came down here to 19, absolutely. How many times have we entered and exited this trade over here? Entered the trade, exited the trade. Entered the trade, exited the trade. Entered the trade, exited the trade. Entered the trade, still in it. Getting ready to push it further. Why? Because if it goes up to 25, wouldn't it feel bad to get out at 19, 20? Or not to re-enter, right? And then some of you are doing the thing, oh, I'll just wait to re-enter at 22. If you think price is going to go to 22 and you'd push it through 22, then why aren't you in the position already? What are you watching it for? A lot of you do that. You'll go, all right, guys, by close, if it pushes through the level, if it goes up another 10%, I'll buy it. That's mad. That's just crazy. You're literally insane. If some of you are going, you know what, by Friday it might break through 22, then I can buy it. You're insane. What are you even talking about? It doesn't even make sense. Are you taking like one of my ideas and trying to make it, like, are you trying to take the idea I have and then make it your own by that means you're losing money. You're literally losing money. That's rope mentality. That's scary. That's hog mentality. That's worse than Jew lasers and chemtrails. Rope. There you go. The ropes in chat. Literally, no, guys. Do not tell them to kill themselves. That's fucked up. That's not what. That's like what you guys used to do when you played Call of Duty, right? You tell everyone on Xbox to go kill themselves. And I fucked your mom. We don't do that. Yeah, Brian says used to. Brian's still doing that every day. What's Kyle playing right now? Kyle's still playing games right now, right? Kyle's over there telling his own kids. Poor Kyle. Hey Don, I actually don't have enough time. I do not have enough time to look at the charts. I don't have enough time to look at the charts or do all that stuff. So it's okay. And then you see them on Discord playing games for like 12 hours a day. Scary. All right, now you guys are just getting sick. It's definitely lunch. It's time for a break. For lunch again. We're melting to start. We'll see if it continues through lunch. It's too hard to tell because the supply. So again, the level will decide for us. The price will either push through the level and break out, or it's just going to trade on the trend line, pull back, just sit on the angle. All of these are pretty bullish scenarios. Everything's still bullish. There's an expectation of take profit today. We're not getting that, so everything is still bullish. Don't second guess yourself. Push your positions. Don't allow a stop to make the decision for you. Again, there's a lot of things that you don't just get. You're in a trade. You finally fucking did it. Just go. Literally run into the middle of the woods. Get into a canoe. Go in the middle of a lake. Don't bring your little iPhone 4.5, whatever dumb phone you got. Don't do anything, right? If your position just keeps going, don't go, well, it can't go much higher, can it? It's in all-time high now. I better get out of it. Don't fucking do that stuff, guys. You're literally just losing money for no reason. Like, you're making money. Feels great. Great. Take home the profit. You don't get to decide when it's done. Yeah, it sucks that the only way we can do it is to see when price starts to reverse and then we have to take profit. But by trying to guess when the top is each time, you're losing all the points that come thereafter. Every single time you are. And that hurts. Fucking sucks. Why? Because everyone else in here is making the money. Yeah, sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes the Capitol building does get, ran over by a bunch of hogs. But even that only caused something for like 10 minutes and then the market came back. So, these things are... Tail risks are literally that. To think that the market could crash at any moment and your position could go to zero is just insane. Just watch it, let it do its thing. It's lunchtime. Chill. Don't look at charts too much. If you didn't buy something already, you shouldn't be like, well, now I can buy it. Now it's up another 10%. Now I can finally buy it. Okay, great. Good luck then. Good luck. You can try to trade through lunch when no one else is trading. If that's going to be your style, then let's see if your strategy works better, that you just came up with in 10 minutes from Googling, or if the strategy that's been working for a decade works better. We'll figure it out. Why are you so mad, bro? Anyway, I will see you guys at close, 3:45 or so. Enjoy your lunch, drink some water, get out of your seat, fix your posture. Those of you that sit all day like I do, got bad fucking backs. Either buy a $1,200 chair or just fucking straighten your back out, buddy. Okay? I'll see you at close. Enjoy, guys.